Hey, welcome back, viewers. So it's been a week since I last did any work on it. I left this thing off. Well, I disconnected everything underneath. The only thing that remains is the clutch slave cylinder, which is down in the back right there. I can't really get at it. I want to leave it behind so that I can get at it when there's not a bunch of crap in the way. There's one bolt that's holding it in. I think if I can pull this thing forward enough, once I get it up and moving, I can unbolt it and pull it out. Otherwise, I can disconnect. There's a line there, but I'd prefer not to disconnect it because it'll put brake fluid all over the place. So we're going to see what we can do about that. But the first step here is to get that hooked up to this. And there's a lift point here, and there's a lift point here, and there's another thing here, which I think is also a lift point. Everybody I've ever seen has only used two. It's not really clear. I think two is enough. So yeah, first step though is going to be to clean up all the crap and get this rug out of here, because I can imagine I'm going to pull that thing and it's going to get stuck on the rug. So we'll do a bit of cleanup around here. Going to get the engine mount, the engine stand out from there so that I don't have to try and wrestle with it if this gets in the way as this gets pulled back. So basically try and clean up the area so that I have as little crap in the way as I possibly can to maximize my chances of getting this thing up and out without causing huge amounts of damage. All right, so put the jack stand, the engine stand over there, kind of got it a little bit ready. I think this is going to take me a little while, so taking my time, as I say. Started to undo this, brand spanking new, never used, and just realized, or suspect, that my jack stands are too freaking close, and that this thing is probably going to hit those things as I get over there. So I'm probably going to need to take an aside to move the jack stands. Great. Maybe saved by just enough. Looks like there might be enough room to squeeze that in there. It's going to make it around the jack stands, so that's good. There and there. So let's see how much further we can go. Okay, challenge one. So I have this thing in place, and I'm more or less in the right spot to start lifting. The only issue is that the way this thing comes from the seller, Vivor, or wherever I got it from, these things are supposed to go on either side, and you put a bolt through them. Now, I can't fit that through there in such a way that this will line up with that hole, which means that anything I do is going to cause this to move around. So I basically need something that'll go through this and suspend about there, like that. But that ain't going to go through there. So I need something like that. But that isn't going to go through there either, because it's too bloody freaking big. Yeah, so I think I need two of these, but of a slightly smaller size. Question is, do I have any of these? I have some chain there. Well, I may not need additional chain. I could just probably flop this out of the way. Of course, once this thing gets under weight, those are going to move around, and I don't want them to hit or break anything. So this will take a few minutes of thinking. So I love YouTubers, and so I'm going to use one of my favorite YouTubers' language. I think I'm going to have to go to the software store and get a couple of these. Either that or something like that. It needs to be fairly like small, but it's going to have to be beefy. I don't want to take any chances with it being too weak to hold it. So I think I'm going to have to get a couple of those things. And then I can cut that chain there to the right size, cut off a couple of links, and then put it in. That should do it. But it's got to be something small enough to go through that hole there and in the back as well. I have some stuff I got to do out in the world anyway, so we'll go do that. Okay, back from the software store, and of course, freaking trial. So they didn't have that thing would be perfect, except that thing won't fit through that. I can't hook it around here or there. Too much crap in the way. Back probably, but not the front. And I don't want to do anything that's asymmetrical here. So this one is too big. I went to check another one, found one. Working weight is only 250 pounds. That, I fear, may be more than 250 pounds. So if it's more than 250 pounds and that thing lets go, I got a problem. Now, that led me to these things, which are the same things as what comes on this crane. So the crane has these attached to the chain. So I reckon if this thing is rated at that these must be enough to hold that. Now, that is a good possibility. The only problem with that is that it doesn't necessarily fit over that. So I'm not sure that those will actually fit over the hooks such that I can get a chain on it. So I'm thinking I might be able to swap. So this one definitely fit on that side. So I took that from there, and that one will go there. So we may be able to swap that. In fact, I think I will be able to. Just put a chain between there and there, there and there, and that's done. On the off chance that that doesn't work, I bought this bar and some bolts and nuts. And basically I can cut this bar in half, bolt one end to that and bolt the other end, you know, bolt and do the same thing front and back, and use some nuts and bolts to attach this to that, and then put one of those clips on the other hole, and that should get me what I need. But let's see actually whether the ones that I bought will fit. I think they will, and I think I'll be in business. Then I just got to cut the chain. Okay, so that worked here. Here's the chain. There's the piece I got from the software store, and it fits, but as I feared, it doesn't fit over that. So that one there can't be made to go there, but the top one can go through there. And if I swap places, it seemed to work. So we'll try that on the back and see how we do. Try it back there. Okay, that worked. So we got that there, that there. Those are the two software store ones. The two ones that came with the machine there. These I was gonna cut off, but really, I guess I don't need to. So at this point, we are lined up and ready to start lifting, I think. Time to take a pee. Think about it.